Hey, I'm Adam, the drummer for VOLA. I'm actually quite okay, because I flew from Sweden and the other guys flew from Denmark. My gear arrived, so I'm safe. I did sleep like 2 hours though, because I played a show in Sweden last night, so I'm a bit hyper. But the other guys are pretty stressed out because, yeah, all their gear got lost the flight. So, so we had to figure out like rental gear and what we could get so we could just play the show and make it happen. So yeah, it's been hectic. I play drums for a Swedish pop artist called Dotter. So we played in my hometown, Västerås, an hour from Stockholm. So I played that show, packed down the gear, went home and showered, slept 2 hours, then went to the airport, and here I am.
That's insane.
I love it actually, because then I never get this feeling that, you know, every show is the same. Like, of course, every show is different, but when you play shows in a row, it's often the same set list and so on. While here, I can really have this variation, and also in my drum setup, I can have that variation. It keeps me a bit on my toes as well.
Yeah.
The pop shows are actually surprisingly complex on drums because there's so many nuances that I have to nail, because like pop music, it doesn't have so much like stuff on it, so everything has to be there, and if something is off, you hear it right away. But now that I've played it a lot of times, so now it's no worries. There is some room for that, like with VOLA, some specific songs where I can just improvise a bit. With the pop act, it's a bit more strict. But yeah, maybe tonight I'll have to be a bit surprising on the drums. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'll be watching.
Yeah. So like you said, we played in Helsinki and Tampere in March. So we had some time to just explore Helsinki. We played around the big ice hockey hall where like those stadiums are. So we played in a venue in there. So we walked around that area and went to like the water, and so that was very cool to see that. And then it was like winter, Nordic winter. So it was cool. It was very, very beautiful. Now we will be back in Finland in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that we'll be back again.
Yeah.
So these next few weeks, hopefully we'll have even more time to explore a bit.
Yeah.
During that tour, I wasn't in the band, so I didn't see what the fan base was like. But from what I've heard, I think it was pretty good, I'd guess. I don't know, but what we had in March, it was some of the best I've ever experienced. Like, it was beyond expectations. Our first headline shows in Finland, my first time playing in Finland, and everything was just amazing. It's been, to play the songs themselves, it has been pretty cool, because they just have a different energy than our past material. So it just felt good to have that hype on stage and to meet the hype of the crowd for those new songs. One thing which has been a bit weird during the pandemic is to ease into it, because we couldn't do like release the album and have a release show and then tour on that. We had to like see if we could make it happen, play a few shows with the new album, then wait a bit and like take it slow. And now finally in September we can have like a proper European headline tour on the album. And what we did in March was like the headline run for that album in the Nordic countries. People need to experience it live too, and we as well. We need to just play the album live, so it feels complete. On a headline show, on a tour, you can have the encore, you can have different, like a lot of nuance in the set list. On festivals, you have limited time. There is many other bands playing, so you have to just set it up differently so people can have an enjoyable experience. There are some songs from the new album that we haven't played, so those, I guess, would need a bit more work. We have played Future Bird a few times, and that one can be a bit tricky because we haven't played it so much. And Napalm is also a song that we play a bit more now, but it's a bit hard.
Yeah.
With this new album, we've, like, since we started playing shows with the album, we started working with a light company from Denmark called VERTIGO. So that was like our step to up the production level. So the European headline tour will definitely be the next step in the production for people who haven't seen us during this Witness run. And of course the new songs will be a big new thing on those shows. That's the cool thing working with VERTIGO. They are very creative, so they've like built their own stuff specifically for using it specifically for us, and like bringing ideas themselves. And so we don't really have to like direct or bring plenty of ideas to the table. They are very good at interpreting our songs and making their own thing with it. For sure, to have the gear there so we don't have to fly with it. But I think a really huge live setup would be something really preferable, and a good sized stage as well. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not so. I don't know, like what else there could be. I'm not like I need pyro and you know.
No drum riser or anything?
No.
You don't want to be the center of the attention?
No, I'm more like less is more.
Yeah. Makes sense when the music is already so complex anyway.
Yeah, and also like the vibe of the music can be quite mellow, so it would be weird to be upside down on a drum riser with fire and spinning sticks when there's like this soft song, or I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
2019 was the last time we did that, so that will be very exciting. We will have to get back into the rhythm again of, you know, the showering, the sleeping, the loading in and out, and just being on a bus for a month. Yeah.
Is that something you've missed?
Not specifically being on a bus, but the adventure of the going on a tour and seeing those different places, and meeting fans from all those different countries, because you get to know the people and you get to see the specific cultures of those places. And I also have I have drum students on tour, so then I also get to meet drummers from those cities and those countries. So I think that's very, very cool to get to experience. There is this thing where in Sweden, for example, people really keep their distance. They watch a show, they applaud a bit, and then they go home. While in Italy, for example, like we're not Metallica, so having people waiting there like hours before outside the bus, it's like, whoa, that never happens in Sweden unless you are Metallica, for example.
Yeah.
So, and that's apparently like in more southern countries, that's people are more passionate in that way. Also something about buying tickets, which is pretty interesting. They very rarely buy tickets online. A lot of it sells at the door.
Yeah.
So I remember when we played in Italy, we were like, there's really not many tickets sold. How is this gonna go? But then everyone just arrives and buys at the door instead. So that's a big difference. In Sweden, there would be like 10 people buying at the door, maybe 5 spontaneous people. It's a big difference.
Yeah, I guess it must be a bit of a panic when your like ticket sale is low. But I guess you're at the stage where you always attract a certain crowd, so that's.
Yeah, but like now also that we know that that's the case, then you can be a bit relaxed and be like, that's how it works there. But if it would be the case in Sweden, then for sure we'd be like, no, it's not gonna get better. We're mainly focusing on the tour and the festival shows, but we've started writing some new music slowly to kind of get into that rhythm as well. So we're juggling between playing shows and writing music at the time. Just want to say a big thank you for all the support, especially on a day like this when gear disappears and we have many fans wanting to help out and offering to lend their gear, and it's I want to give a big sincere thanks.